Hey everyone, welcome to r/Tales from Tech Support, where we get to have a little chuckle at the technologically disadvantaged. Like me. I'm Uncle Reddit, and have I got a story for you. If in doubt, press random buttons. This just happened. My father's ancient bar phone finally died. Battery won't hold a charge. So for some reason he decided to buy a smartphone. Without consulting me, the person is expected to fix all things he deems IT related. Dad: Hey OP, can you come give me a hand with my new phone? Me: What new phone? Dad: My new phone I bought yesterday. Proudly shows off said device. I decided to skip telling him off for buying it without asking me because he's never listened before. Why would he start now? Me: Okay, what's up with it? Dad: I just downloaded an app and now I can't find it. I've tried everything. The phone was thrust into my hands. I stared at an Android system far newer than anything I've encountered. Me: Internal monologue. I have no effing idea how this works, and I can't see what's on the screen very well because I'm colorblind, and the background image is making things hard to read, but I don't think I can break anything unless I really try. Guess I'll just start in one corner and randomly press buttons until I figure it out. Click on first icon. Lo and behold, there's the app. Dad watching over my shoulder: How did you do that? I clicked on everything and it didn't do that for me. Me while adding the app to his home screen: Clearly you didn't try everything or you would have found the app. Was there anything else? Dad: No, thanks for fixing that. Tech Wizard image preserved. Well, I'm not so sure that makes you a tech wizard, but you did help your dad get to the app, so there's that. By the way, why would you ream your dad for getting a smartphone without consulting you? He's an adult, and if you can't help him with it, you can't help him with it. That's all. You mean I don't have to replace the batteries? I love my elderly paternal grandma. I really, really do. It's just really, really hard not to laugh out loud when these things happen. So a few days ago, I was able to see my paternal grandparents again, and we gifted them each an iPhone so we could FaceTime with them. We've had issues with mail thieves, so weren't taking chances. To replace their old flip phones, we walked them through the new phones, helped preload some helpful apps, and run through FaceTime with them. Yesterday, my grandma stopped by looking confused. I was the only one home, so I got to have the first-hand experience. Grandma: OP, I need help. Me: With what, Grandma? Grandma pulls out phone: Replacing my phone battery. Me staring: What? Grandma: My phone died. I need help to put in new batteries. I can't open the case. I kid you not, she pulled out a pair of AAAs. At this point, I realized what was going on and had to hold in my laughter. Me: Grandma, you don't need to replace the batteries. Grandma was getting a little miffed when I had to fight laughing, but let me lead her over to a charging cable. She was really confused as I plugged in her phone into my charging cable. The look on her face when her phone powered on was priceless. Then embarrassed when I explained to her about how the phone needs to be plugged into charging cables to recharge. Grandma: Oh, so like rechargeable batteries? Me, finally knowing it's safe to laugh: Yes, Grandma. That day I introduced my grandmother to the concept of never having to change batteries, but I'm not going to teach her about the wireless stuff. She still thinks that's impossible. Grandma, I love you, but sometimes you can be a bit daft. There seems to be a trend today with unknowledgeable parents and grandparents, and kids who seem a little put off by that. Guess what, kid? At some point, you're going to be that age, and you're going to be saying the same kind of stupid crap to your grandkids. Just hold on, it's coming. Photoshop won't open my publisher file. I don't work in tech support, but I did do the tech for my yearbook class in high school. One day I was called out of class because there was a problem in the computer lab. I figured it was just someone needing help with text boxes or photos again, because for some reason, telling them how to do it 8 times isn't enough. I walk into the lab and I'm directed to a girl's desktop. She informs me she wants to edit something, but Photoshop won't even show the file. I troubleshoot a bit and discover, yes, the file she wants isn't showing up. I'm confused. That is until I open up the actual file section outside of Photoshop. The file she was trying to open? A publisher file. Turns out, as she told me after, she thought they were essentially the same. I showed her how to recreate the page in Photoshop and went back to class. This isn't even my number one craziest story, just one of the funny ones. I will say I had a little bit of a problem with this before when starting to create my own product labels and things like that. I did some work in Publisher and then would try to do some Photoshop stuff, and it didn't work because I was confused about the file extensions and all that. And it took me a little bit, but I learned that you have to save things in the right file extension so that it can be opened by other programs and things like that. But hopefully now that you've shown her, she knows how to do it. Your internet is crap. My dad runs a local ISP in a 1 kilometer radius around us. This was an interaction we had with a customer today. C equals customer, M equals me. Customer comes with a complaint to our office. Customer, your 100 megabits plan gives me only 6 megabits speed on Wi-Fi on my mobile. Me, okay, let's take a look. Sets up the router locally and does a speed test. Well, we're getting 97 megabits on our desktop. Since we have a desktop in our office, we plug the router in via LAN. Customer, but I'm getting 6 megabits. Me, okay, you have a wireless N router with 100 megabits ports. This is a technical shortcoming because you're limited by the speed your router can support. Your router has 100 megabits per second LAN ports, and it gives 100 megabits speed on the LAN. Wi-Fi is a totally different and complex topic that depends on a lot of factors, mostly out of our hands. To get 100 megabits on despite what is being advertised on the router box. Customer, what's the use of your internet plan if it doesn't work? Me, you need to buy a router with better bands and probably gigabit ports. Plus you need to turn off all devices and keep only one on the network to get full 100 megabit speed. We sent tech out to his place to show customer what we said was indeed true. The tech took one of our AC band gigabit port routers to his house and showed him roughly 100 megabit speed on Wi-Fi. His reply was, my router and laptop and mobile all have issues. The customer has a Tenda wireless N router which has all 100 megabits per second LAN and WAN ports. A Vivo something Android phone and some laptop which keeps rebooting randomly, and our internet service is apparently bad. Edit. We don't supply routers for this exact reason. Customers use crap equipment and then blame us for bad service. They keep routers in such odd places and then complain that they aren't getting range. We had a customer who decided to keep their router in the bathroom. I'm not kidding you. Also, they don't surrender equipment when they terminate service and don't want to pay for a deposit or any other fees. Edit 2. After reading the posts, I feel I need to give more information so that people understand. We do suggest routers and equipment that can be used to get optimum service, which this customer did not want to opt for. We normally recommend TP-Link stuff because it's easily available and very easy to use and pretty decent price-wise. Yes, there are certain models we recommend. We don't blanket approve TP-Link. This customer in question listened to all of our advice and went ahead and bought a Tenda Wi-Fi device and uses a Vivo phone. Now both of these aren't our recommendation. Also bear in mind we can't force the customer to buy something specific. Edit 3. Had to add this because a lot of people were assuming I had a confusion about megabytes per second and megabits per second. No, I don't. I also had the above noted confusion when I went on the internet and figured it out. Also, all the speeds mentioned above are speeds from speed test, not a LAN copy or a download from a website. Also removed the lines that I had added for dramatic effect and tried to stay as close to verbatim as possible. Something people don't often realize is, okay, you have 100 megabits per second speed on the internet service coming into your house. That doesn't mean you're going to get that on every device in every situation. It depends on, are you hooked up with LAN or wireless? How many devices are hooked up? How many of those are streaming or doing other things? It's all going to depend. Dear old dad and the external drive. Hello, Tales from Tech Support. Long time no see. I know it's been ages since I've been here, but this just happened and I've got to share it. So here it is, a nice hot day and I'm chilling in my air-conditioned house, setting up my shiny new mechanical keyboard and gaming mouse. When my dear old dad whines from the next room, my external hard drive isn't showing up. I tell my computer to not restart to finish installing drivers for the mouse, thank you very much, and holler back. Did you plug it in? Is the USB plug all the way in? Is the power light on? Is the disk spinning? See, some months ago, dear old dad complained that his old 200 gigabyte hard drive that he's had for years was filling up, and he wanted a new one with more space. I advised him to do what I did and buy a 1 terabyte, 3.5 inch drive and slap it in an external enclosure. Boom, all the space you need. I told him what to get. He did exactly that. and I hadn't heard anything else about it until he whined about it not showing up. His computer is 10 years old and somehow still alive. The darn thing has outlived my old gaming PC, which is still alive, but its performance deteriorated to the point I quit using it and built a new one last summer. His computer is so bad that he wants my old one because it still runs better, despite the fact that games like Chasm suffer from old school NES type slowdown on it. I actually found and fixed the reason for that, but he doesn't know that. Yeah, his computer is crap. Anyway, suspecting that the aforementioned crap computer is why his drive isn't showing up, dying USB ports, Windows being stupid, etc., I tell him to eject the drive and bring it to me. If my shiny new, well, not quite new, but new enough, computer has a problem, then there is 100% an issue with the drive. I plug everything in, power it up, the drive spins up, and nothing happens. No external drive pops up in this PC. I try multiple USB ports. Nothing. Weird. I check Device Manager. There it is. Device Manager sees something there, but it isn't quite sure what it is. I finally open Disk Management. There's my internal drive with its healthy partitions, and below that is a drive that's not initialized. Oh, crap. Initializing the disk won't erase data, but reformatting certainly will. I do some Google Foo to see if I have any other options, and everything comes back to reformat the disk, which I can't do because I don't know what all he saved on the disk already. The other thing I can find is expensive data recovery options, and screw that. This is why I have 2 external drives for myself. Anyway, after 20 or so minutes, I call him in and ask if there's anything on the disk that absolutely cannot be replaced because the only option is to reformat. He blinks at me. There's nothing on the disk. Well, there won't be after I reformat it. No, I never put anything on it. It was never used. I was trying to use it when it didn't show up. I let out a, what? So flat it was practically 2D. He walks out of the room then, and my brain finally catches up to itself. You mean to tell me that you've had this thing for months and you'd never attempted to use it yet? Oh, I never got around to it. Is it screwed up really bad? I nearly slammed my head down on my new keyboard. It's fine. It's not showing up because it was never formatted. You have to format new disks before you can use them. Oh, it didn't tell me that. No, because you're supposed to read the instructions, which will tell you to do that. Or you could have just told me at the beginning and I could have done it on your computer and saved myself the trouble. I initialize and format the disk, and bam, there it is. Dad's drive, F. Yay! I eject it, unplug everything, and hand it to him. Make sure you eject it before you unplug it. I won't save you if you corrupt your files. Don't jostle it while it's spinning either. You're screwed if you head crash it. He promptly takes it to his own computer and sits it on his desk and wanders off to do something else. I shut my door and huddle down with my hardware and grumble about computer illiterates that remain so despite using computers for years. Man, this really is Bash Parent and Grandparent Day, isn't it? Friendly but incompetent. So we have this special woman in our company. She's been there for literal ages. The company was founded in '97 and she's been working there for 15 years plus. And the problem is that she usually is super nasty and at the same time absolutely computer illiterate. The other day she comes stomping up into our office, as usual, and starts screaming that her PC doesn't work. Fixed it straight away and had to change her monitor as well because it was blurry. I didn't argue with her, just gave her a new one and took the blurry one into our office to give it to the next guy because it's fine. She also requested that I turn her graphical settings, saturation, etc. up, so I did that as well. After adjustments had been made, she complains that the colors on the monitor are off. I'm like, sorry, but I can't see any difference. She keeps on nagging me because of it, so I start turning her settings back to normal. Little background information. I wear glasses, but there's nothing wrong with my visual perception when it comes to colors. As I'm going through her settings, she asks me if I really can't see any difference. I'm like, nope, just a little brighter or darker. So this absolute witch tells me to see an eye doctor. I tap my glasses twice. Just saw one 2 months ago, FYI. She replies, your doctor must have prescribed bad glasses. Shrugged it off and said it so she would be satisfied. But it's not over yet. 20 minutes after I fixed her screen, she comes up to our office again, absolutely furious. My Outlook doesn't work. You need to fix it quickly because I have a phone conference in 10 minutes. So I follow her to her office, and as soon as we're in the hallway, she looks at me and shouts, my conference in 10 minutes, for which I couldn't do anything because your stuff never works. That's a quote, by the way. I ignore her and fix it. Surprise, everything worked fine when I arrived. But it's still not over. 2 hours after this incident, my boss tells me that she complained about the whole department, saying that we are, quote, friendly but very incompetent. I'm literally laughing to keep from crying. I'd be willing to bet this lady's like this with everything. She wants things the way she wants them, she has no idea how they're supposed to be, and she's just going to complain about everything no matter what. Some people can't live without complaining at least a few times a day. My disk eject button won't power on my desktop. Background. I worked for my university's IT department while I attended there and as a summer job since I lived in the same town. During the summers, we would start by upgrading whichever computer labs were due that year and then trickle down the 2-ish-year-old PCs to faculty and staff, who basically just used Microsoft Office. This story is about a faculty member who just received a trickle-down desktop. Ticket from help desk. Please go look at faculty's computer as it isn't turning on. I walk across campus to faculty's office. The university campus is on the smaller side, like a 6-minute walk, but it was around 90 degrees Fahrenheit out, so still unpleasant. Me. Hi there, I'm with IT. I got a ticket that your PC isn't turning on? Faculty. Yes, I just got an upgrade from guy in charge of upgrades, but this is the first time I've been in the office since he installed it. I reach down to our PC and press the power button. It immediately turns on and boots. Faculty. Oh, that's the power button. Me. What button were you pressing? Faculty. Points to disk eject button. Me. I see. Faculty. The power button just really blends into the plastic there, doesn't it? It didn't. Me. Glad I could fix it. Okay, I can say honestly that I have been guilty of this in the past. I get a hand-me-down tower or something like that, and I'm not used to the buttons on it. I had one where the power button was in the back. I hit the wrong spot on the case and that wasn't it. But I didn't call anybody from tech support or anything else. I just kind of looked around the case until I found whatever made it turn on. But at least she didn't do something to damage the computer before calling you guys, so that's a plus. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. If you've enjoyed this content, would you do me a favor? Would you consider giving this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and maybe click the little bell icon so you don't miss the fat guy with the beard telling you stories. See ya!